I also want to let you know that we are hearing our producer, Len Tepper, is notifying us that according to one law enforcement source, there is early information that there were two male shooters with AK-47 style weapons, that several victims are down, and there's a possible second incident at the JCPenney Dillard at the mall. I want to bring in Jorge Salgado, who works for El Paso Inc. and has been covering the response to the shooting. George, can you give us a sense? Can you confirm any of these details? And do you know exactly where we are with this?
Yeah, as you were speaking, I was learning a lot of the details that are going on, some that are confirmed. As you can imagine, my phone is kind of ringing off the hook at the moment. So right now, we're kind of staged off of the property itself, obviously for safety reasons. As I was getting here, I had law enforcement passing me by on the freeway. We're here now. You might still be able to hear some of the helicopters whirring around. There's law enforcement also driving around still. At this moment, the mall is kind of just barricaded with law enforcement vehicles. There's still some, pedestrian traffic, pedestrian vehicles in the parking lot as we're here. And so once I got here, everyone was kind of running to safety, running with their hands up, just trying to leave. You hear people crying, you hear people hugging, not really understanding what the situation is or why they were, just running out of the mall. Following that, we kind of had a little bit of a lull with what was going on outside, and so we had SWAT had pulled up, and we kind of just saw them running into the building, and we haven't heard or seen much since then. From right here, I can kind of see a big gathering of law enforcement. It looks like they're walking towards the building, and that's as much as I know at this moment.
We're hearing potentially that there was a second incident, not just at the Walmart there, but at the JCPenney and the Dillard in this large strip mall where this happened. Are you hearing anything about that?
I'm hearing things that are being sprinkled in and out. My newsroom is texting me as we're here, so I keep hearing different reports. We haven't been able to get close enough to speak to anyone or really confirm anything.
Yeah.
I believe there's supposed to be a media staging area in a few minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the update is on that, but I'm sure something will come soon.
We are also hearing reports, as you can imagine, loved ones terrified as to whether or not their family members are inside here. There's a family reunification center. It's been set up for families at what's known as Ponder Park. It's near the situation at Cielo Vista Walmart. We're hearing a report of that at Ponder Park, a reunification center for people who may be wondering about where their loved ones might be. Do you have a sense, can you give us a sense, Jorge, of what this area is like for folks who are not familiar with El Paso?
This is one of the bigger shopping centers in El Paso. It's located, I would say, east central of the city. There's one big shopping center here, and then just across the street there's another big shopping center. These parking lots are full on Saturdays, as you can imagine. It's hard to find a spot here. We get a lot of incoming traffic from Juarez, especially with school starting to start again. It's very calm here. I've never, I've lived in El Paso since 2003. This is one of the nicer areas in El Paso. You never hear of this thing really happening in El Paso in general, but it was kind of shocking to know that it was happening here. But this is one of I would assume this is, especially with back to school, some of the biggest foot traffic they see throughout the year.
Jorge, I just want to let our viewers know what you're watching right now on your screen. Live pictures right now from El Paso, the parking lot area where this active shooter situation is still unfolding. Police are still treating this as an active shooter situation. It's unclear right now. Law enforcement has not notified us as to whether or not the shooter or shooters, I should say, are in police custody at this hour. Jorge, give us a little bit more sense. You were telling us about this community.
Right. I grew up in suburban Chicago. Actually, I grew up in Aurora, Illinois, where there was a shooting last year. So this one also is very close to my heart. I love it here. Everyone's really friendly. I've never encountered any issues. I've never, I rarely come around people that are in bad moods. Everyone's really embraceful and always willing to help. It's a very diverse community. We have a lot of military here. We have a lot of crossing traffic from Juarez into El Paso, and it's, I think that the term sister city is pretty accurate. There's a good sense of communication between the two cities, and so we do see a lot of the traffic from Juarez here, and everyone's great, and everyone is real loving, and it's a great place to be, I would say.
Do you have any confirmation as to how many people may have been shot?
I do not. I'm walking to a different location. Maybe I can speak to someone, but I don't see anyone near me at the moment.
All right. I want to thank you very much for joining us, Jorge.